if he sees this podcast, he coming for me.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I don't think they're going to let him out of prison, though. I mean,
any of you minions watching this right now, if you gonna come after me, I dare you to. Okay, I'm pimping. You ain't got nothing on me. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 3 of the Jack Lamb podcast. Today, I am joined by two very special guests, the new governor and vice governor. Higglebottom, I guess they're both Higglebottom. Cornelius Higglebottom, the new governor, and Destiny Higglebottom, the new vice governor. Folks, it is my pleasure to welcome you here to the Jack Lamb podcast studio. How do you feel? Election's over.
I'm kind of relieved, to be honest. It was kind of stressful, although it was a short election, but
yeah,
I worked pretty hard. I was campaigning every single day. So.
Yeah, that's something that I've seen on the news. You were always out there in the streets talking with the common man. Honestly, I think that's what got you your victory, because before this election, I'll be honest, I haven't really heard of you, but all of a sudden, you're kind of a superstar. So
yeah, you came out like a storm. It was pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, and the election was basically a landslide. I mean, you were in first place with like 90 to something votes. No other candidate was close. Second, third place, they were all far behind you. So how did you do it? It's crazy.
Well, I think it all has to do with the fact that, not only the fact that I started, about a month or two before the actual election started, but I was the first one to actually start campaigning.
Very smart.
And, I think just campaigning every single day since the day I started, I think it's just been helping me get my name out there and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense.
Yeah. So you're now governor. Have you done anything yet? Have you used this sacred power only granted to one person at a time in the state of San Andreas?
Nothing too major yet. It's been taking out small steps. I still got to get used to it. You know what I mean? I mean, this is a huge step in kind of my life.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: when they first take you to the White House, when you become governor and you're sworn in, they tell you they must tell you some secrets, right? They must tell you some state secrets that only the governor or high-ranking officials will know. Is there some of that? Did you get some of that?
I mean, possibly. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
You know what? I like your style.
Possibly. Okay. All right.
I
probably
will
wouldn't
say
trust
that...
me with it, to be honest.
You wouldn't trust the governor. Is it your top hat?
Hey, I get high too much, okay? That's just a fact.
I think Meek U Long also got he was a fan of drugs. Unfortunately, he met his untimely end the other day. Rest in peace, Meek U Long. Bruce, have you heard?
Wait, did Meek U Long pass?
Yeah, I don't even know what happened, to be honest. No one knows what happened, but apparently he's dead.
Actually, I can fill you in on the whole situation. I was there when it happened.
Oh yeah, please,
really?
Destiny, go ahead.
So shortly after we were announced for governor and vice governor, I was getting ready to take the Secret Service out, for a spin. I was like,
right.
let's try out this beast. At the time, Cornelius wasn't there; he was unavailable. But he, of course, was watching some body cam of the announcement.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, what happened was I was getting ready to walk outside. The minute that I opened that door, all you hear is a loud explosion.
What?
And then I have Secret Service yelling at me, "Get inside! Get inside!" And I was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And they told me that apparently the previous major of the San Andreas National Guard had suicide bombed Meek U Long.
Oh my!
Wow.
Well, this is breaking news. That's terrible.
Yeah, I don't think many people knew exactly what happened to him, but that is crazy.
I mean,
Yeah,
I hope that's not how
definitely-
all governors go out. Don't you also hope that, Mr. Higglebottom?
Why do I feel like you're foreshadowing?
No.
Mr. Lamb, everything you say here is held accountable in court. I just want you to know that.
Hey, Major, I didn't like that little giggle over there. I didn't like that. I don't appreciate that.
Major's in the audience. Well, anyway, I hope you have a long and prosperous life, of course.
Again,
but
foreshadowing, but okay, continue.
I must be honest. Running for governor, you experience more threats than basically any other citizen in San Andreas. I'm sure before you went into political life, things were relatively straightforward and solid. You had a good, healthy life. But now that you're a big-time politician, I mean, I heard you got sniped at the other day. There are constant threats on your life. How's that been?
Actually, let me tell you something. Before I actually announced at all that I was running for governor, I did have a couple bounties off of me. Before I became, a clean person, I wasn't really the most liked person. My current Blaine County mayor, the one I chose, Tim Corelio, he was the first person I met in the state. We didn't really get off on the right terms. But then, as I said, as I've been telling, we've grown as people, we've grown as friends, and, I'm happy to be the person I am now. During my candidacy, I will say this. I was not the most hunted down person at all. Heard of John Cranley, but that man was getting shot at, bombed every 5 minutes. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have enough agents to protect him, man.
Yeah, I actually might want to add on to the. I have some personal experience with Mr. John Cranley. I actually decided to, kind of say hello, see how he was doing. I went with him for a little while when he was being protected by Secret Service. And I got in the car, 10 minutes later, boom, getting shot at.
Jesus.
Not a popular candidate. You know who else wasn't a popular candidate? Brandon Jedith. I believe he actually came in second, but I think the day before the election, he was kidnapped. I think by 2 men, it was reported. And I think they took him, Brandon Jedith, and his vice governor into a van and made a whole live stream about it and everything. And I mean, if I'm not mistaken, there was some sort of notes, some sort of signature that saying that you, Cornelius, orchestrated this attack, ordered this attack. How do you respond to such accusations?
So here is what I will say about that. It's those accusations are currently being taken care of. They're currently being investigated. Just, to let everyone know, everyone who's watching, I am clear of all charges. We've already figured out what the issue is. But again, it's all being investigated. I don't think I could say too much on it right now. But as far as I'm good, I'm clear.
Okay, well, just one question. Was that your signature? Just so we're clear, did you orchestrate that attack?
No, sir.
No, you did
My
not?
signature was forged.
Moving on, Mr. Governor, this is something that a lot of people wanted me to ask. What are your plans for your own governor department? Right now, I believe under Meek U Long, it's still the Department of Natural Resources. What's your plans with that?
So, I've actually been speaking a lot with the highest people within the Department of Natural Resources. And I've
like you high or like rank high?
I was about to ask the same thing, Mr. Lamb.
Rank high,
okay,
like below me as now. Yeah. We're gonna be keeping it in. Except I do know that DNR, they've had some activity issues as of lately, and I do want to fix it because I do believe that that department has endless amounts of potential. It's all about getting the name out there, expanding on their abilities, expanding on what they can do, and as soon as we're able to do that, get the name out there to all civilians, they're going to be one of the most active departments out here.
Natural resources.
And after all, wildlife is one of the primary reasons for a thriving state. So I believe that, with DNR, we could definitely do that. I have a lot of plans for them. And, it's actually starting tomorrow.
Ah, solid. Do you have any plans outside of Department of Natural Resources? Are you adding any additional, maybe sub-departments or something not even related to natural resources?
Are you speaking department-wise, or
yeah.
what exactly are you talking about?
I know. Meek U Long created the Department of Natural Resources, but I think you can technically do even more than just natural resource involved work. You can, I don't know, make a little legislative branch or something, or some sort of, I don't know. You can do quite a lot.
A toupee department, perhaps.
No.
Personally, I wouldn't take that level of disrespect, Lamb.
Unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
He pays me enough to be able to speak to him this way.
To be clear,
Let's
I don't
see.
wear a toupee. I want to make sure the audience is aware.
If you're wondering why he's wearing the hat, it's
I'm
that he
wearing
forgot
the
his
hat out
toupee
of respect for
at
Mr.
home,
Higglebottom and
unfortunately.
the celebration
So,
for his new
thankfully,
governor position.
He is able
Bruce,
to wear the hat now.
Bruce,
Yes, Mr. Lamb?
if you keep sitting like that, your spine's gonna break, and I hope it does if you keep talking about this toupee rumor. Anyway,
Scoliosis now.
yes, Mr. Governor, I also wanted to ask you a follow-up on the Brandon Jedith question. You know, he lost, but he had quite an interesting plan regarding Cayo Perico, and I was wondering what your plans are on how will you approach Cayo Perico?
So, here's the thing with KO, right? A lot of the candidates, people like Mike Andrews, Brandon Jedith, they wanted to essentially take over Cayo Perico, right? They wanted to build a wall. They wanted to build oil rigs and stuff like that within, their grounds. I believe because our relations with Cayo Perico is not good at all.
No.
War could literally break out at any moment. I feel that building better relations, we don't necessarily have to be friends, but we could be allies. We don't even necessarily have to be allies. We could be neutral.
Okay.
Building a wall, taking over Cayo Perico is just going to make them angrier, and it's probably going to cause war, no matter what.
So you're
So I
thinking
feel-
more in the realm of like mutual respect, I guess you could
Mutual
say.
respect, exactly. That's what I'm looking for.
So to be clear, you have no plans to invade or overpower or overtake Cayo Perico and add it to the land of San Andreas. You have no plans like that.
Not at this time, no.
Okay. You hear that, El
Mr. Lamb?
Presidente? It seems like you are safe for now. And by the way, thank you for letting me stay in your resort. It was very generous of you.
Mr. Lamb, I've also gotten word that our Cayo Perico ratings just went up about 20% because
Good.
of this.
I didn't
Yeah,
know we were
it's
live,
good.
but thank you, Mr. Wesson.
Yeah, I don't even know how they knew.
Yeah, exactly. Next, I wanted to ask you this very much. I know during the debates, you had some interactions with other candidates. One of the more interesting ones was Ugg, given his record with the DOJ. So I just want to ask you, open question. How are you going to approach the DOJ? I know there's been a lot of criticism lobbied their way regarding too many life sentences, or at least their application of life sentences for crimes that maybe don't deserve a life sentence. Ugg, of course, got a life sentence. That's why he was in a mobile, ice cube glass box at the debates and accompanied by U.S. Marshals. I guess that'll be in the form of two questions. First, how will you approach the DOJ? And second, are you still going to say no on pardoning Ugg, or will you perhaps reconsider?
So, working with the DOJ, I think that there's one person in specific that has sort of revived DOJ, and I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this. Although you guys may not agree, this person has been doing an amazing job, Mr. Charles Schumer. I think he's doing a great job, and that's just me personally. You don't have to agree with me. That's just from what I've seen, what I've heard.
Shout out to Charles.
What I've seen him do. I think that he's been doing an amazing job, and I think that he's one of the main reasons that the DOJ is currently active. I do know that many of you felons out there, you guys don't really have the opportunity to really appeal those felony charges. It either gets instantly shot down, or you guys just don't have the opportunity whatsoever, right? So I do want to change that, because I do feel that some people, they change, right? Everyone can change, and I believe that they should have the right to appeal those charges, because they're changing. When it comes to Ugg, now I'm not pardoning him.
Not pardoning him. Is that
This
your
man sent his little minions after me multiple times. I am not pardoning him.
Really? Ugg sends some of his men to attack you?
Yes, sir. Actually, the day right before the official election, like the day right before they chose the governor, I was attacked by 3 of his men.
Oh, wow.
So we have a lot of evidence behind this statement. I would like to say that right now. He is known to be the leader of a gang called Fruit Gang.
Okay.
Should make sense considering he likes grapes.
And
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Those people, also known as Fruit Gang, also assassinated Vector Long.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
If I may add, as well, they actually went after former Vice Governor Mustard.
Oh my gosh.
They were
yeah.
unsuccessful.
Well, listen, if all these allegations, or I think some of them have been proven already, are true, I mean, assuming this is all true, then wow, Ugug might actually be the most notorious criminal in all of San Andreas right now. I mean, I used to think it was my previous guest, Tonya O'Neil, but she's dead, and now they just got Ugug in there. Hopefully Ugug doesn't escape prison as well. So, wow.
That would be a very unfortunate situation.
Yeah, it would. It would indeed.
Would have to be dealt with immediately.
Yeah.
Because, if he sees this podcast, he's coming from me.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I don't think they're going to let him out of prison, though. I mean,
any of you minions watching this right now, if you gonna come after me, I dare you to. Okay, I'm pimping. You ain't got nothing on me, all right?
You hear that, Secret Service? Are you happy with these taunts by the governor? Do you encourage them to bring it on?
Man, it's Secret Service on top. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't think they look too happy with that
they can
request.
Protect John Cranley from all those, every 2-minute drive-by shootings, bombings. They could do that easily.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's get to some short questions. Some that were submitted by audience members who knew that you would be coming and had very specific questions for me to ask you. Oh, okay. Mr. Bruce Weston, my co-host, had to take an emergency bathroom break, and from what I smelled, it was not pretty, and I hope he does not return soon. Mr. Higglebottom.
Reconstruction today.
Oh, the first audience question: how many top hats exactly do you own?
Well, as I've been telling a lot of people, every single piece of clothing that you see on the Higglebottom is custom made. This jacket, this turtleneck, these glasses, this top hat. We got an unlimited amount. Whenever we need them, they're made.
Yeah, I must admit, you are looking good. You are looking good. I mean,
straight.
Mr. Meek U Long, I thought his style was,
Hey, Meek was pimping too, though.
Yeah,
Mustard as well.
Yeah.
We're both pimping.
Some very fashionable governors recently.
I agree.
Someone else also wanted me to ask you, how many brothers exactly do you have?
Well, Destiny Higglebottom here to my left. She's one of my siblings. I also have another biological brother, Herbert Higglebottom, and another sister, Charlotte Higglebottom.
Do any of the
total 3 siblings?
Do any of them have aspirations to run for political office?
I'm not entirely sure. To be honest with you.
Especially
my brother Herbert. Let's just say he's not the brightest.
Okay. See, I was worried, for a second that we'd get another dynasty, perhaps, like a Meek U Long and Vector U Long, but
oh no.
It was kind of interesting how Vector got last in the poll, even though his father was a very popular governor. It's interesting how that works. I guess nepotism is unpopular here in San Andreas. Next question. Oh, yes. Actually, the rest of these will be regarding new potential laws to consider. So, this first one is, what's your stance on open carry? You think citizens... Oh, Bruce Weston's coming back from his bathroom break. You think citizens should be allowed to carry guns in the open? Los Santos, Blaine County, anywhere?
So, look, I know everyone knows the saying, stay strapped or get clapped. That's a true statement. It's 100% true. However, I don't think people should be open carrying LMGs and ARs, right? There was actually a situation, I think a month or two ago, where SecureServe was protecting the fire department because they were constantly getting attacked by this organization. And at the time, they were open carrying because they were getting attacked. And Blaine County Sheriff's Office decided to arrest them for open carrying. And I think that the open carry law should be a tad bit more free, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A little bit more strict, especially when it comes to security companies like SecureServe. Oh,
Bruce, welcome back.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, that's good enough.
All right, there we go, Mr. Lamb.
Mr. Wesson, you don't happen to smell, because when you were heading out, you smelled real bad going off to your bathroom break. Everything's handled,
You have
right?
a hazmat suit by chance?
I forgot to put on deodorant today. It's been a long day.
Okay. I smelled another scent in your pants particularly, but moving on. Let's see. So that's your stance on open carry. So no type of guns whatsoever for open carry? Not even pistol?
I think there should be a little bit more freedom. As I said, I might look into that for sure, but it wouldn't be any major firearms such as, I don't know, a carbine rifle. You know
Yeah. Bruce, you need to pick a spot.
No, I was going to say, I think this is the perfect position, Mr. Lamb. I'm so sorry.
Good. Next, this one's actually from Cletus O'Neil, who asked, will you consider legalizing prescribed methamphetamine?
Here, you don't want Cornelius? I can answer this one for you.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, Destiny.
No.
All right.
I do admire the absolute, the balls to ask the question.
Yeah. It wasn't even anonymous.
I do too. I won't lie. I do too.
Okay. This question actually regarding a specific law comes from me personally. So I said that many times. Bruce, I think you know where I'm going with this.
I believe I do as well, Mr.
Episode
Lamb.
2 of the Jack Lamb podcast. I did an episode with a particular fugitive on the run who was serving a life sentence, but she escaped custody. Tonya O'Neil. Now, that episode did huge ratings, and I feel the public needed to hear what her motives were, how she was feeling, what she was doing while being a fugitive. And that podcast was, for the public good, and it was in the public's interest. So, after the podcast, as in, the next day, I received a notice from the U.S. Marshals that, I'd be charged and subsequently arrested for, there were 3 charges. There was aiding and abetting, there was harboring a terrorist, and there was also accessory after the fact. Now, this was a political and corrupt prosecution against the journalist, in my opinion. I conducted my journalistic duties by interviewing a wanted fugitive, and the charges were absurd in their own rights because I conducted the interview in a manner that was fully compliant with the law, and there is no precedent for these specific charges. I mean, aiding and abetting, harboring a terrorist, those charges are meant for, accomplices of criminals who are actually hiding their accomplice for a prolonged period of time. All I did was invite Tonya O'Neil as a journalist over to my studio for 30 minutes where we talked, and then she left, and I had no idea where she went. I didn't help hide her. I didn't help, conceal her from any law enforcement. She simply came and left, and I'm not required to report that. But still, the DOJ went after me. Now, of course, a few days later, they dropped the charges, but still, will you consider making a law protecting the First Amendment rights of journalists like me to speak with wanted fugitives, as long as they're not actively concealing the fugitive?
So I will say this. I did actually end up watching a little bit of that podcast before we got on here.
Okay.
And I did see that you did mention before anything that you did not really what's called support her behavior and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I completely understand that, and I would like to. I'm trying to word this correctly. I can't find a way to word it correctly. But in short, yes, I will be trying to put something in place to protect you journalists, because after all, like you said, it is your First Amendment right.
Yes.
And you should be able to do what you need freely as long as it's legal. And from what I saw, from the perspective of a audience member of the podcast, I think that that was completely fine.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. There's a lot of journalistic integrity that Mr. Lamb did carry with that podcast.
Yes.
I would say.
Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate it. Well, yeah.
I would just like to note that I am still here and not going to the restroom right now.
Thank you. Thank you for updating us, Mr. Wesson. Yeah, that's exactly the answer that I was looking for, and I hope that you can follow through. I think all it would take is a small addendum or updates to the penal code that would, make it a little bit more specific to add protections to journalists and allow them to interview and speak to wanted fugitives, again, so long as they aren't actively helping the fugitive escape and, hide. So, all right. Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Governor. I think this was a very informative podcast. Any final words here for the audience before we wrap it up?
I do have one more question, just real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Governor, I heard what you said about the open carry near, like, as I came back from my little break, and I was curious. Would you consider a tank to be open carry, or do you think that that's something that you would kind of permit to be kind of driven around the city? Because LNN, we've had
Mr. Wesson. Let me answer that for the governor. That tank will not be under the open carry law. Is that correct, Mr. Higglebottom?
That is correct.
Okay. Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This was just hypothetical as well. Like, it's obviously
hypothetical.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Who would do such a thing?
Yeah.
No one here.
Mr. Lamb, remind me to go lock some up.
Bruce.
When we go. What?
Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching episode 3 of the Jack Lamb podcast. If you want more episodes like this with such amazing high-profile guests, please subscribe to the Lamb News Network. And, Mr. Higglebottom and Destiny Higglebottom, thank you very much for being here. And I wish you 2 luck as you serve out your term. And, Thank you for watching, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Mr. Lamb, do you have a sign-off phrase yet? All great podcasts have a sign-off
No, I actually
phrase.
do not.
Wait, really?